What's going on, Sooner Nation? Welcome back, Sooner Surge, on this Tuesday night. First night of, I guess you could say March Madness, even though my thoughts on that. Don't really consider it March Madness till Thursday, but thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. Boomer Sooner for life, Chester. What's up, 918? Getting it going with some running back talk. As hey, tomorrow would be a week out from when Caden Jones is going to make his announcement. 918 says Thune changes crystal ball on Hatton A&M and plans on changing his Caden Jones one as well. No longer expects him in the class. Yeah, who knows? That would be interesting if they got neither one of those, and then kind of where do they go from there? Chester says, hurry up, Jerm, I got to go work. Hey, you can blame me on this one. Jerm's going to be a little bit later, but I was running a little bit late to get going. Apologies, Chester. But yeah, North Carolina killing. And you know what? I've heard a lot of people. Hey, real quick though. Chester, yes, Kiwan's son. That's correct. I've heard a lot of people saying, well, look, North Carolina should have been. Look what they're doing. I hate it when people say that. Because what? Because they're winning one game. That doesn't mean they should have got in over West Virginia. I mean, it just doesn't. And all this stuff coming out now about the AD he got a bonus because they made the tournament and stuff. It's some wild stuff. What's up, KB? How you doing? OU baseball tonight. Walk-off W. It wasn't a pretty game. Kind of sluggish. Kind of wasn't not a good pitching outing for Cam Johnson again, coming back from the illness. But they get the win. And you had Tennessee lose their first game of the year. East Tennessee State, I believe, got them. So Chester says, wow, can't even recruit legacy players. I would love to know people's in the chat's thought on this and on Caden Jones. I want to know where people stand on Caden Jones. I've heard mixed things on Caden Jones. So I would love to know where people and Sooner fans stand on that. It sounds like Chester really upset about it, really wanting Caden Jones. Sooner fan, the governor. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like, hey, you know what else isn't going to happen? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but has anything happened to Michigan yet from their cheating scandal with stealing signs and stuff? I don't think anything's happened yet, has it? Anything real big deal? What's up, Ron? How are you tonight? Hope you're doing well. Windy here. I know you always talk about storms. It is very windy where I'm at. Extremely windy. Gray God, move me up in the tourney. He just took somebody to the woodshed, and I know who it was. So, yeah, we're moving you up, Gray God. All right, 918 says, and 918 from the 918 said, a very good local player, but if he wasn't a legacy, he wouldn't have an offer, in my opinion. Boom. Oh, there it is right there. Here's another one. Michael. What's up, Michael? Bro, what's up, man? Isn't elite back, in my opinion. There's a lot of people. I've heard mixed feelings on it. So there's two right there that are saying not the OU running back that they would want. Now, who knows? Aaron, funny how most of these teams that are seated high can be beat by a lower. It happens all the time in March Madness. The first game was great tonight. It was an absolute dynamite game. Second one, blowout. It's not that I thought we were going to recruit Oklahoma more. Guess not. Well, they've recruited Oklahoma really good, Chester, under Brent Venables. I mean, I think they've recruited him great. And I do know 918. I remember when he visited Louisville, he loved to visit. I think Louisville really, really trying to get him hard, and maybe he ends up there. Been in BR watching softball, Jay. There we go. Hit the likes. Appreciate it. Thank you. Jeremy will be joining very shortly from a Walmart near you, probably. Maybe not near you, but from a Walmart parking lot. Man, it is so windy. It's annoying. That's one thing to me. Like, what does the wind do? Is there anything positive that the wind can do? You have rain that helps with things. The sun helps. What does wind do? I just don't. I'm getting tired of the wind here. Where I'm at, I'm sure it's the same way in Oklahoma, but it's been brutal. So let's get to some of these comments. This is a perfect example of why May tells you nothing in recruiting. That's exactly right, KB. No, until it gets down to the end, I mean, nothing matters. So why does Okie State always find running backs? Well, they've hit pretty good on some running backs, Devin. You're right. They've had some that made the NFL. I will say last year, though, Ollie Gordon was kind of a letdown from the year before. But you're right on that. I mean, they do find running backs. They seem to find that position group pretty well. There we go. 918 says helps with his kite flying skills. I guess that'd be the only thing. Need it to dry out a softball field so we can play. Okay, there you go. It dries things out against the wind. Yeah, it keeps blowing everything over in my yard, everything. And it's annoying. It's loud. I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of it. It's been constant. Daniel says they hit good on running backs that fly under the radar. They do. They do. That's one position group that they've done really well on. You can't argue that. Dalpo said, still running against the wind. Is that an Eagles song, Against the Wind? I think it's Eagles, isn't it? I may be wrong on that. I thought it was Eagles, but I don't listen to all that type of music, but I think it was Eagles. Ron, we had mailboxes, like nice mailboxes on our street, just snapped in half, like a whole street. It's crazy. But Bob Seeger. Oh, it's Bob Seeger. I told you I didn't know what I was talking about. There you go, Bob Seeger. Sooner Theron, Chuba Hubbard was a great then bad year, but now a solid pro. He's been pretty good pro. He's been a pretty good pro. He's been an average fantasy running back. Fantasy, speaking of, hey, if you have not, maybe Hunter can drop it in there. If you have not signed up for the March Madness Bracket Challenge with Sooner Surge, please sign up. We got a good amount in there, but you have a couple more days to get signed up. You got to be in by Thursday I think it starts at 11. So you got to be in by the first game. There it is right there. Sign up tonight. There's a prize. You're going to want to sign up. Okay. Get in there. I've seen a lot of you in there, but more of you need to join up. So let's make it a good time. Daniel says we should be getting top 10 running backs consistently. Yeah, I agree, Daniel. And so let's just play a scenario. And before we do though, well, let's do this. Let's play this scenario. And then I want to get some other news. If they lose out on Hatton and Caden Jones, where'd they go? I mean, where do you think? Because that's kind of been the guys you've heard about. So who do you think? And do you think Arbuckle has anything to do with this? Like maybe he comes in and is like, yeah, I'm not sold on Caden. I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking. What do you guys think about that? And kind of where do they go? I mean, I don't follow recruiting as close as a lot of people. So I know some people in here. I know 918, Greg. Some of you guys that follow it closely, KB. Some of you guys would know some names that maybe they would be next on their list. Portal pay a guy that's good. Yeah, Skip. They got the W. That's all that matters. It wasn't pretty, but they got the W. Hey, by the way, good crowd at the game tonight. Baseball. Really good crowd. I was impressed. I got to give kudos up to that. Even with not a very good facility, Okie, people showed up. Imagine that. Hope so. Let Arbuckle kick the old fogies out. Okay, so we've talked about it on the title. We need to talk about it. You made a hire today. Jim Nagy made a hire today for one of his guys. Taylor Redd, okay, who has kind of been around the program with Jake Rosenberg as far as, the hiring of the general manager, working in the winter portal stuff. Very young guy. He's been at New England as I believe in scouting. Also, I believe like director of player personnel at Wake Forest, I believe. Hunter, if I'm wrong on that, let me know. But I think that's what he did there in around the year where they won the ACC, I think. So I think it's a good hire for Nagy. And Nagy's going to bring in who he wants to bring in. And I think Jim Nagy has a very good idea of what he's wanting and what he's going to do. I saw 918's comment earlier about some NIL stuff. I think he's very clear on what he's going to want to do. And that's great. I want somebody that's a leader like that has what they want to do in mind and can roll with it and get this thing going. I'm not firing any shots at Okie. I'm just saying. Michael, it seems they want bigger backs. Robinson now gaining weight. Barnes at 220. Sawchuk gained weight. You know what? Maybe. I don't know. Was that Wake way before current era? Oh, I thought I saw 2021, Hunter. Maybe I was wrong. I thought I saw 2021. 918 says building a good personnel team in red just asset. Yeah, it's a good hire, man. So wow, my friend's neighbors has their house burned down. Oh wow, that's awful, Sunathron. That's horrible news, man. Geez, be praying for the family. That's awful. These fires are. I mean, it's a bad situation. And today was bad again, fire wise. I mean, so Steeler man, what's up? He's a Pittsburgh fan. Stopped being a Patriots fan after they did. Oh, geez. I'm not. Aaron Hernandez. My friend had 2 neighbors' homes burned down in Oklahoma. Yeah, it's awful, man. Prayers out to all the families. It's a bad situation. I've never seen this. I've never seen wind this bad for this long in a long time. It seems like it's been for a week straight, constant. So hey, 2 nights from now, 8:30, OU basketball tips off in the big dance. Excited for that. Hey, Chester, you have fun. You have a good night. Stay safe. Have a good night at work. We didn't start the fire. That's a good song. And I do know who sang that one. That would be, Billy. How come I can't think of his last name? Billy Joel, right? I believe that's Billy Joel. 3 nights, Hunter says. How do people feel about Nagy and company building the roster and just letting the coaches coach? Okay, people are going to probably disagree with me on this 918, but I think since this has gone to NIL and it's going more to paying the players, I think it should be more like the NFL, which is you have a GM that help build your team and you go coach it. Now, with that being said, I think BV has input on some position needs and things like that. But I think Nagy goes out and gets a pool and gets some guys, and then you bring it to BV and say, okay, what do you think about this guy? But I think Nagy's out there doing all that work, man, because I think it's too much on coaches these days. I think it's way too much on these coaches. You know what? Coaches never had to deal with all this. It's ridiculous to think that coaches can do all that part of the job. So, hey, he can still have input on it, but he can't be doing all the dirty work because behind the scenes, going to find guys. I mean, that's just too much. And I think what that would do is lead to burnout of coaches. And I think you saw some coaches already leave because they're like, this is too much for me. And 918 agrees. Is it for sure Porter will be back? You know what, Johnson? Nothing's for sure. It's college sports, man. Is it for sure that Oklahoma would have him back? Yes. Is it for sure that Porter won't go somewhere else? I don't know what Porter's going to do. I can't answer that question. But I think OU would bring him back. Now, I don't know what Porter's going to do. Just like the West Virginia guy. I thought he would go back. Where'd he go? Indiana today. You talk about a bad 3 days. West Virginia's in for it last 3 days. It's been bad. But you never know what a coach is going to do. So I can't really answer that. 3 guys, Texas after Crowell, Osborne, and KG. I've heard Edwards I know of. Not sure if OU has. And Greygod says, Thune said, don't be surprised if Nagy processes out some big names. Hey, you know what? That's another reason why I like a GM that can go in there. And they're building a roster. They're building a team. They're just like it happens in NFL. Heck, you go look at Sam Presti. Do you think what are people saying about the Thunder right now? Are people saying Mark Dagnall's a great coach? Yes. Did he build the roster? No. Sam Presti did. Why can't that work in college sports? Go coach up your team you got, and you have a great GM to get you the guys you need. That's the way I think it should work. You have a GM that gets you the guys you need, and you coach ball. I think that's the way it should work. But let them handle all that stuff. What's up, Braden? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. Let's get back to the facilities. All right, hey, you know what, Dowpost? After the live last night, I don't know how long we were on the phone afterwards, but we were still kind of arguing about it. So, yeah, I probably won't bring that up tonight unless he does. Gentry Williams, another one. I saw Gentry Williams' his name, Jake Taylor, maybe. I don't want to speculate who, but I think it's been pretty clear if guys aren't going to produce. And let me say this: if you're at Oklahoma and you're in year 3 and you haven't played much, I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, guys that really didn't do anything till year 3 or 4. I mean, you're talking about, and they've had injuries, I get it, but some of these guys have been there 3 years. So do you think this year they're going to have a breakout season? Or do you think it's time to Nagy going to be time to hey, we got to get somebody that's going to be able to give us something? I don't know. That's an interesting thought. What's up, Colin? How are you tonight, man? I don't know if it's because football's in a slump, but it seems OU fans are turning into baseball a lot more this year. I think it's because baseball's doing good right now. I think that's part of it. Baseball's been off to a hot start. So I think that's the main issue. I don't think it has to do with football. Football is still king. I just think people are watching baseball right now because they're performing well. But they're never going to have just crowds like the other SEC schools, I don't think. But who knows? Never seen guys with lingering injuries like this. It seems, Daniel, it does seem like on some of these it's been pretty lingering. Hey, did anybody see the Marvin Jones tape today from the Mic'd Up? I don't know if you guys saw that. I thought it was pretty good. I like the Mic'd Up stuff. I've always liked it in the NFL. I like it in college when they do it. And I know you get guys know they're mic'd up, so you're going to get some stuff. But I was, when he brought up Gibson, number 11, and Fasusi, both. He said Fasusi's him, and he's number 11. He was like, 11, man, I'm telling you. Woo. So, I mean, hey, those are two guys that you continue to hear good things about. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Gibson's going to have 1,000 yards received. I have no clue, guys. I'm just saying they are names that you keep hearing. So, whatever that means, we'll see when it comes up. SEC baseball is top notch, always will be. In my opinion, zero chance they process Gentry in the spring portal. Who would play corner? I agree, Michael. They are so shorthanded as far as guys that have played corner. That who's going to be the guy? And the fact of the matter remains: if Gentry's healthy, he's one of the best on the team. And is he not? In my opinion, he is. If he's healthy, he's one of the best you have. So if he's healthy, you got to see what he can give you. Jen agrees with you, Daniel, about something. Probably what the comment I put up there last. Plug and play. I hope Jim brings those types of players in, but 5-star doesn't mean they perform that way. We all know that's true, but you got to get some 5-star guys. They did this year. I mean, Fasusi, I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, Fasusi was, there's 5-star guys, and then they go to these camps and stuff, and they don't perform as well. Fasusi went to those things and just purely dominated. So I think everybody knew when he came in, he was going to be good. Now, does he start? Does he start this year in any point in the season? We'll see. Remains to be seen. Stevie G, what's going on? How you doing? They would probably portal in the quarterback in the spring to play. They're going to have. I think there's position groups that they have to get. They have to get a linebacker, I think, in the portal. They have to get a cornerback. Heck, I'd like to see another O lineman. I mean, there's a few position groups I think they can go after. Come on, Jason. I don't know that, Ron. I absolutely don't know that. Johnson, that remains to be seen, man. I mean, you'd have to what Nagy would probably have to see Brent Venables for 2 years not have good seasons before he would come to that conclusion. Nagy's in there to build a team, and he's in there to build a team. Now, I will say this: if I'm a GM and I'm getting players and my coach and team is not performing, then I'm going to be pretty upset. And I'd maybe look at the coaching issue, but it's vice versa too, Johnson, because what if you're a good coach and what if Brent Venables is coaching them up, but they're not getting the talent they need? AK last year in the portal, they didn't hit in the portal. They missed. What if that starts happening with your GM? That falls on the GM, right? I mean, so it can go both ways. Is OU getting NFL-bound 5 stars or 5 stars that not many really want? Well, it depends. I mean, let's start naming some of them, Sooner Cowboys, over the last few years. Peyton Bowen. Let's hope he has a good year this year, coming off that injury. PJ Adebawore hasn't really done his 5-star status yet. I mean, you could go back in time, 5-star wide receivers at OU, Jaden Hazelwood. It didn't really pan out. I mean, so I think Fasusi's a guy that will be a pan out. I think Fasusi will be an NFL star. I absolutely believe that. With all my being, I think Fasusi will be a 5-star NFL star. I really do. By the way, did you see what Lane Johnson got paid, Hunter? You can put it in here. I know you know as a Philadelphia fan, but geez, that contract he got, will he play that long? I mean, wasn't it like 12 years or 8 years? What was that, Hunter? A ridiculous contract, like $40 million guaranteed. No, Hunter, 1 year. Well, then I heard it wrong on the radio. On the Sports Animal today, they were saying it was like 8-year contract, man. That's why I was shocked. Okay, that's why I was shocked, Hunter, because they were saying it was like 8 years. I was like, man, he won't play that long, will he? Hey, sometimes on the Sports Animal, you don't get correct info. I will say that. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. You know what? I could have absolutely heard it wrong. I've been known to do that. So I don't want to blame the Sports Animal. It could have been me. Jeremy will get on here and tell me I was wrong. I'm ready for it. Promise you that. He was extended a year. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. $48 million over the next 2 years. Maybe I heard 12 and it was 2, or maybe they messed up and said 12. I don't know. But I'm buying the Fasusi hype. Greg God says, me too. I'm with you. Stone will be a star too. I agree with Satterfield here. I'm with you on Stone. You know what? A lot of people said when he got to OU, there was a couple of things people were leery of Stone on. They said, he's got to get bigger. Check. Done it. 313. Came in at what? 285, 280? Something like that. He's at 313 now in 2 years. This year too. So I'm with you on Stone. I'm with you. Yeah, I listen to both. I listen to K-Rep. I listen to Sports Animal. I listen to all of them as I'm driving around. So I kind of flip. So I like Sports Animal. I like them a lot. I like K-Rep. I like them a lot. I like most of them. So all those guys still have 5 more months to get ready. I'm excited about them. I am too. So we'll see what happens. Grown man way. Hey, he's up to 313, Daniel. What do you want to get to? 320? Fit with Fry. Fasusi will be a top 5 pick. His feet are so unbelievable for his size. I agree. He's got everything you want in an O lineman. He's got it all. Jerry Canning going to be a star at tight end. We'll see. Is that Jerry or Jeremy? It looks like it says Jerry. I thought it was Jeremy for a second, but Juan Blero, what's up, Japan? Juan Blero, how you doing? San Diego State, awful, horrendous, horrible. Okay, Daniel says 320 to 325. He can hold it. That'd be nice. I saw Jaden Jackson's up to 317. So that's good. Continue to get guys to put weight on. That's a good thing. So, yeah, I'm excited to watch Stone play this year. I really am. Hope we all make it till football. We'll make it, Devin. We'll make it. We'll be there. 8-4 season coming up. That'd be impressive considering the toughest schedule in the NCAA. Yeah, I did. They are the toughest schedule in the conference. Toughest one in the conference. They are not in the conference, in the nation. They are it. What's up, Jerm? You here?
I'm here, man. What's going on? I see people talking about Canic in the chat.
They're all right before you got on, Jerm. They knew you were popping on. They had to throw that out there, man.
What's going on tonight, Jay?
You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Talking about some running back recruiting. Caden Jones commits a week from tomorrow. People thinking he's not going to go to OU. You got Hatton, maybe not going to go to OU. Just wondering when they're going to go there. You got the new hire, Taylor Redd, for Jim Nagy. Let me ask you this, because 918 posed this question earlier. Do you think the role should be the GM puts a team together and everything and deals with all that, and the coach just coaches? Or do you think the coach should have a lot of say in that?
Yes.
Which one?
Both.
Huh?
I think it's both, but here's what I would say.
Both.
Yes, both in some sense, Jay, but to me, the overarching person, the one who should make the majority of the decisions is the GM.
I agree. I agree with you. Hey, we agreed.
That's shocking. But Jay, if the GM is the one doing the evaluating, then how could you not say that should be happening?
I know. That's what I'm saying. They need to. They're the ones.
If you're sharing the evaluating, if the coaches are equally evaluating, well, then it's different. But I thought the whole purpose in a GM was that they could take some of that stuff off the coaches. And according to Jim Nagy said he's going to eliminate some of the stuff that the coaches have to do and provide them a smaller sample of the guys they need to go after.
Yeah, I think it needs to be more like the professionals, like Sam Presti. He builds a team and Dagnall coaches.
I agree. I agree with that.
How's your mustache doing, Jerm? How's it doing? How's it doing? Not
Did you call it a he?
I said, how's it doing? Not he. How's he doing?
It's doing great.
Let me guess. You got a name for it, don't you?
No, it's doing great. It's doing great, and I've had several compliments, but I do feel like people are staring.
They're not staring at your mustache.
I think they are, Jay. There it is.
Jeez. I showed my kids today. They about lost it.
Really?
Yeah.
The GM needs to be evaluators and coaches need to teach. The GM can have input from coach to find best players to fit their schemes. Okay.
I get that.
I get that fit with Fry. I get that.
Yeah, I understand. I would agree with that.
I think UNC destroyed San Diego.
Oh, yeah. They were up 27 at half. I don't know what the final was. Hey, Jalen, there's 79-40. Jalen Rose is on the set this year. I don't remember him on there last year.
No, he wasn't, Jay. I like Jalen Rose. I'm a Jalen Rose guy.
Are you a fan of Barkley and them going to the college stuff?
I think they're more NBA people, but I'll like it because it's good entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a factoid. And on Tuesday, OU's Board of Regents took a substantial stride toward competing with the best by unanimously approving an estimated $390 million in athletic upgrades. Headlined, I think he's adding more here, by $175 million for football. Is
he trying to get us going?
Number, is it?
Is he trying to get us going on this facilities argument again?
I'm not going there again tonight, Jay, but
not either, bro.
You mentioned Hatton and Caden Jones, two guys in the 2026 class. Jay, is this team going to lose a running back or two before the season starts?
Well, that was another topic, is 918 talking about Jim Nagy possibly going to make some hard cuts. Now, who would that be?
Who would it be in running back?
I mean,
when you say hard cuts.
Well, let's go through the backs.
I will say this.
Let's go through the backs.
Okay, just a second. I will say this. Sometimes I really think Jim Nagy could be huge for Brent Venables, because sometimes when you eliminate some players that have been playing, it helps the head coach. You can't play him anymore.
I think Franklin's the obvious one, probably.
Wait, I thought Franklin's already gone.
918 says Barnes and Franklin.
Wait, Franklin left, didn't he?
Did he?
Franklin's not there, is he?
I didn't think he left.
Well, yeah, Franklin's not going to be around.
Okay, so Barnes
he won't be around. Tatum's not going anywhere, except on the field to play, I think.
Well, let me say this: if you're a here's the thing: if you were a guy like Barnes or Sawchuk, if you don't feel you're going to play this year, you got to probably go. Right?
Agreed. Wait, Sooner Thrawn says Franklin is the second string. Who's the first string then?
What you got? Tatum, Barnes, X-Rob, and Sawchuk.
They don't have it. They don't have any strings right now.
Yeah, there's no
depth. There's no depth chart. And if it is, it's hogwash.
Has Tatum even done anything in baseball? I don't think so.
By the way, Sawchuk has done a lot in the weight room. I will say that. Sawchuk done a lot in the weight room.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks the part.
Wait. Sooner Thrawn, you're saying Sawchuk is the first string and Franklin's the second string? Well, then that's absolutely not accurate because where's Xavier Robinson at?
Of course I wore Franklin batting gloves, Okie.
I didn't wear batting gloves, Okie.
Andy Bass, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Jenna says Gavin and Sam running with the first. Again, I'm not going to get into.
But Tatum's not really there, so that's part of it.
Tatum's not there. Where's X-Rob? Is he injured for something? Because
hey, I'll say this: I do not care who's running with the ones on March 19th. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree, Jack. I could care less.
I don't know if it means anything at all. Even if I just don't think it means anything.
Yeah.
Tatum and Nesta are at football practice, Hunter says.
Wait, Grey God, looks like Grey God did beat my oldest son. What was the score, Grey God? I'll have to tell him when I get home that you said good game.
Mark my words, he will be the starter, X-Rob.
I think, Jay, I think the two guys are X-Rob and Tatum, but of course, everyone is talking about Barnes and how he looks, but that's kind of been the narrative the entire time at OU for Jamonte Barnes.
Hey, let's open up the phone line. Let's get those phone lines open.
Oh, the phone lines aren't open yet, huh?
No, dude.
We're 33 minutes into this thing.
Cool, man. Cool. You at Walmart?
Yep. Hey, check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com and sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club. JLBA. It's good. It's Jay, it's me, and the stash tonight. We got 3 of us on here tonight.
Maybe I'll have the stash tomorrow night.
Do it, Jay.
No, maybe not. We got Daniel on the line. Daniel, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, guys? I'm good. I'll just call out a few things because people mentioned earlier about the training staff. I mean, really all I'd say on that, I don't know what's going on with them because, like I said, I've never seen lingering injuries like this. I know one of the football trainers, Jeff, he was there when I was there. He was just one of the, lower level trainers. And I think he's like the head of football. And I don't really know the Robert guy that's in charge, but I really think Coach V and Josie, whoever, they need to do some evaluating when it comes to the OU medicine. I mean, like an example I can give, Rodney, I think it was the spring of 2015, broke his dang neck and was able to come back faster than some of these guys have. It's very strange to me. And then
do you think it has to do with
go ahead.
When they do come back? Maybe are they getting over practiced? I mean, do you think that has injured? I mean, because there was a couple guys that you've heard that like had a little setback. It's like, okay, were they not ready or what? You know what I mean?
Yes, and that's the thing though. I can't pin. I think Honestly, I think it could be all that. I think it could be the overexertion of their usual athletic activities, and they're not realizing that. They're not taking it slow. They're not evaluating correctly in terms of the treatment that they need. I mean, I blew my knee out in February of 2012. Coach Stoops brought me up to get the surgery with Dr. McGinnis in March of 2012. I was able to come back faster with I blew ACL, MCL, meniscus, hamstring. I mean, I tore everything up. I was able to come back faster than Gentry Williams has in it's just it's not registering in my head what they're exactly doing there. Scott was there for what 26 years. I'm not sure how long Jim was there, but we never had to deal with this, and I just don't understand how they're not seeing this as an issue as much as all of us are seeing it. I'm seeing it. Everybody in the chat seeing it. I mean, it's not making sense.
I've got two things, Daniel, and I don't want to come across as that I'm coming down hard on these guys, but I got two things. One, and this isn't really about the guys at all. One, just because someone's wearing a boot at practice, a lot of people will say, "Oh my, they're in a boot." I know people who have worn a boot and played basketball that night. It's really so there is that. I'm going to say that first, but the other thing is, guys are getting paid pretty hefty.
Mm-hmm.
How much desire they got to get back out there? I mean, they're going to get paid no matter what.
That's true.
Again, I don't want to come across as someone who's judgmental, but
Get
I
off
think
my
both
lawn.
of those things,
Get off my lawn.
the boot thing, because I've heard several people say, "Oh my gosh, I heard someone was in a boot," and people put a boot on just so you can heal quicker. It doesn't mean you actually broke anything, or it's just for protection. So I don't know.
Yeah. That one to me is, and I don't, maybe I can try to ask some of the players on the team, like, or do y'all feel like y'all aren't getting the treatment? I don't know, but and then kind of segueing in kind of the running back talk, I mentioned it earlier there too, is like with DeMarco. Right now in the spring, it doesn't really matter who's going with the ones and the twos or the A's, the A's and the B's. The spring really doesn't matter. You can, 1 week there's guys going with the A's and vice versa. So it really doesn't matter. Really, you kind of get an understanding when that fall camp when 2 days starts. But my thing with DeMarco, and as I've mentioned it before, is like I've said before, I have my ways about Gundy, but Gundy was able to. He had a knack for finding talent and bringing that right talent in and developing them. I can't really remember dating back to 2000 up until when Gundy left, a time where he had just a terrible miss on a running back. And maybe people can correct me on that. I think the only one I can really think of is Brookshire Royal running back. I mentioned him before. Brandon.
Brennan Clay.
No, not Brennan. Brandon.
Green. Williams.
I think it was Williams. Was it Williams?
He's the guy who went to A&M after a time.
Yes. That's the only one I could think of that was like a 5-star and kind of live up to it. But to me, it seems like DeMarco he doesn't really understand what it is that he's looking for the offense and for what he wants to coach, and then also how to implement that into a scheme or into a game plan. It's like 1 week, it's like, I'm going to try this. You know what? I'm going to try this next week. And I'm going to try this the following. It's like he doesn't have an identity within himself. And I think that's a hindrance to the running backs. And that's why you're going to have guys that, 1 week they're on, the next week they're off, next week it's because they're not getting a rhythm. And I don't know if he's getting good running backs. I mean, I think, the hat, and that could be, I still have upside on Taylor Tatum. And then Blaylock, I like Blaylock. And like last year, all of us heard big things about Hicks in the spring or whenever he came or in the fall. And look, he's not even on the team anymore. They talked about how he looked, his body, and everything like that. So, and I'll say it again, sometimes players who were great at the position oftentimes don't make great coaches. So I'm hoping DeMarco can finally Just him. I'm not talking about the offense, just him. He can find an identity in that running back room so that we're not 1 week, Xavier Robinson's the guy. He's the guy. And then the next week we're like, well, he's not the guy anymore. Now this is the guy.
Yeah,
Wait. He was the guy 2 weeks ago. Not like it doesn't make sense. When Gundy was there, you knew Samaje Joe, Samaje. Samaje Joe, Samaje. Before that, Brennan, Damian, Brennan. After that, Keith, A-Ross, Samaje, maybe me sprinkled in there, and then Samaje. Like he let the guy who had who had it running at that time, had the ball going. He let them have it. So that's just kind of my spill on the running back room.
Hey, good stuff, Daniel. Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
Good evening, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Hey, let's get to Fit with Fry. What's up, Fit with Fry?
What is up, y'all?
How are you?
Man, doing absolutely incredible.
Good.
Let me tell you, I'm going to give you guys 3 points, 3 gems from 30 years of OU football.
Here we go.
Of what's this year is going to be absolutely incredible. I guarantee it. This year, I guarantee you, we go 9-3, 10-2. Listen, we have the ingredients. We have the ingredients. Best ingredients we've had even before Baker, since Sam Bradford. We have a great defense. I guarantee you the defense is going to be great. David Stone's so good, but he's not even going to start, right?
Well,
If you got a defensive line where David Stone's not starting, you know you got something special going on there. And second thing, we're talking about running backs. There's not a better running back in the nation than Xavier Robinson. When you look at that guy, I'm telling you, right, when you listen here, he didn't get his due. He wasn't in shape. He didn't come in shape. He was a freshman. But whenever you see that guy's size, even you guys talk about Barnes, Xavier Robinson's 15 pounds heavier than Barnes. Are you kidding me?
I like Xavier Robinson.
I like him.
I'm not gonna say best in the country. I do like Xavier Robinson.
But I'm telling you, that little sample size we got against Alabama, when you go back and you watch that tape, that's what I love to do. I love going back and watching that tape. That man is a man among boys.
How did Jackson Arnold look against Alabama?
But Jackson Arnold's not running. He's not the running back.
No, I know. I'm saying he looked great against Alabama.
But Jackson Arnold didn't look great throwing the ball. So I mean, when you got Xavier Robinson running next to you, they got to watch him a lot closer, and that gives Jackson Arnold a lot more running room. Once you see that big old fridge running at you that fast, you're like, oh my goodness. And it looks like Adrian Peterson. He didn't get the due. Watch. You guys watch this season. I guarantee it. The offensive line.
I hope you're right.
I got to ask you something, and I agree. I think I saw Gabe Eichert and them talking about Foji and Fazuzzi. They're talking about how I don't know how they're going to keep him off the field. But here's my question for you. I agree. I like Xavier Robinson a lot. Why doesn't DeMarco Murray like him much?
Listen, DeMarco Murray, he sees a freshman. You think DeMarco Murray thinks the freshman is going to be DeMarco Murray comes from old school. He wants to run the guys who are older, but once you hit that sophomore season and you've been there and you've built that relationship, DeMarco, I guarantee you he's grinning ear to ear right now when he see. I'm telling you, I've heard reports. Xavier Robinson is the strongest guy in the weight room, stronger than everybody, squatting more than everybody. And on top of that, I'm gonna make these 2 points, and I'm gonna give somebody else an opportunity to talk because I'll go on all night when we're talking about OU football. Kanik, he's a good pass catcher, not big enough. We need an extension of the O line out there. We need an extension. He could come in there, run that little slot, that little dig route, that little skinny post right in the middle, catch the ball. He'll do that all day. But when it comes to blocking them big old monsters in the SEC, what's that boy's name? Mitch, Devon 275. They said,
yeah,
that's the man who needs to be out there the most. We need Kanik in there running that H back, He needs to be running out the backfield, running those little routes because he's got those skills. But he's not a monster. We need a monster out there at tight end blocking. We need an extension of the offensive line who can catch a ball or two. Because with all these skill players we ain't gonna need no tight end out. We need a tight end blocker. Last thing right here. I'm gonna give you guys this. When it comes to the injuries, where the injuries come from, these guys not being in shape. Nick Anderson came to practice with Schmitty out of shape. You come to those practices out of shape. What's shape mean? It means want to. These guys didn't have no want to. They riding around their brand new trucks. You guys know it. When you get all this money from that NIL, you ain't ready to come back from injury. They don't want to come in shape. You got to come in shape. You got to come ready to play as soon as it's time to play. When it's time to lift weights, you got to be in shape. You got to stay in shape year round. You got to eat right. You can't be eating that McDonald's every night. You can't be drinking that Coke. You got to bring your ass in there in shape. Guess what? My coaches used to say, if you ain't throwing up, you ain't growing up. And that's the way it goes right there. And Nick Anderson didn't want to throw up. That's why he went to LSU. Schmitty's making them boys throw up. We gonna walk on LSU next year. You guys watch. Them boys coming in shape. We coming in ready. OU has a different identity. I'm telling you what. You don't get that. You don't get an evaluator like that if you don't got a different identity. We have a different identity coming into the season. We could have won a lot of these games if we had some competent offense. Even LSU, we smacked the hell out of that quarterback. That quarterback ain't never been hit like that. We're going to hit him harder this year, and we're going to come through, and we're going to go 9-3, 10-2. You guys watch and say what I say. Xavier Robertson going to be breakout player of the year, and then our quarterback going to be running for the Heisman, maybe first, second. You never know. You guys have an amazing night. Boomers Sooner, baby.
Hey, love the energy. Thanks, Phil.
I can't deny that dude, that fit with Fry was passionate. Can't deny that. And I hope everything is right. I just have a hard time believing some of that. Actually, almost all of it. But
no. Hey, real quick. I think he's right with they have things in place that they should be a lot better.
There are things in place. I agree.
I just can't predict it 9-3 season yet.
And I can't say Xavier is one of the
be a lot better offensively. They should be a lot better at quarterback. They should be a good defense. They're all that stuff, but they have the number one toughest schedule. I can't. But hey, I love the energy. The dude can. I mean, Fit with Fry brings the heat every night. Every time he calls, he brings the heat. I give him that, man.
LSU fans are buying hook, line, and sinker just like OU was last year. Hey, 6-0 Chevy says, guys, the whole staff on offense was thrown off last year because there was no scheme or plan from the OC. How do you expect to see position success from position coaches? I'm agreeing with you. It was horrible last year. Not disagreeing with that. There was no scheme. There was no any of that. But I still would like to. But listen, here's where I can argue a little bit. DeMarco Murray also did the same exact thing under Jeff Levy. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, you're right.
DeMarco Murray and Joe John are two guys that under any coordinator they've been under, they haven't really had much success, Jay.
Yeah. Hey, let's get to KB. KB, you're on the line.
Man, I'm seeing sunspots.
Yeah.
I want that
sunburn.
I want what that dude had making a double.
Yeah. Hey, he's bringing the heat. He's bringing the heat.
Yeah. Hey, I was going to tell you, talk about the injuries. You know, I'm not sure it's all on the players. You had a lot injured last year, and I know they left the team. A lot of them did, but you've had some this year that are still on the team that have hit the field and had backs. And so I'm kind of like y'all guys are. I'm like, where is it breaking down?
Yeah, I don't know where it's breaking down. And
it's weird.
And
I mean, that is strange. There is a lot of lingering injuries.
But the thing is, like, it's hard for me even to comment on injuries because I'm not there, you know, it's like, so I don't know what it is.
Jay, but hey, KB, I do think this, if OU were to lace up the cleats, put on the pads 3 weeks from now, a lot of those guys, I think that were, quote, not doing some things they would be ready to go. So I don't know how much of this is, now I'm not talking about Jaden Gibson, who apparently hasn't been doing much, but like Burks, again, like what I said earlier, a guy in a boot really doesn't necessarily mean he's out for an extended period of time. So people see stuff at practice sometimes and think, oh my, this guy's just, I don't know Kendall Dolby's situation. I don't know Gentry Williams' situation. Like, if there was a game a month from now, would they play? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I see there's I supposed to know. The only people we have dinged up are the guys that are coming back off the ACL.
Yeah.
Deals. We don't have anybody that's out as far as new injuries. Ours are, but CJ is coming back in the summer. They said he could go in the spring, but something that y'all kind of alluded to earlier, they just don't want to bring him back in the spring. They don't want to.
And Texas kind of had the, OU had the big issue at wide receiver last year, but Texas got hit pretty hard with running back last year.
Yeah, two of them. One with an Achilles and one with an ACL.
Yeah.
And actually, the kid with the ACL is already in the weight room. They said he was throwing up 450 the other day. So that's pretty good. I'm happy to see that. But they don't want to bring either one of them back in the spring as far as contact and stuff like that. So that's all going to be summertime deals. But we got some nicked up guys too, but it's still being from cleaned up from last year,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but anyway, no, it's just there was a lot of lingering injury. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird,
Yeah,
but
that's good though.
Look at Bond. He got hurt when he played y'all. And it just lingered the rest of the year.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Everybody's different too. Every player is different the way they recover. So.
Yep. All right, you guys have a good night.
KB, have a good night. Hey, let me get the 6-foot Chevy real quick.
I was going to respond. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, what's the difference with Arbuckle? What's that based on? What do you mean?
No, Jay, I'm all in on Arbuckle. Listen,
I am too.
I will put all stock into Arbuckle. I'm all bought in on Arbuckle. I've liked everything he said. I like his scheme. Now, I do want to see it in action, but yeah, I mean,
the offense is going to be way better.
I don't think any Sooner fan is sitting here right now thinking, man, I wish we had last year's offense. No,
Jimmy,
they're all excited about Arbuckle.
Hey, the fact of the matter is this. I think the offense is going to be way better. The defense is going to be just as good. You could have a really good season statistically, offensively, and still only get 7 wins.
Well, it's going to come down. Listen, here's where I think the Arbuckle, the John Mateer, and I see Mac. I think John Mateer maybe being that dude that has that maybe, because where it's going to come down to, Jay, it's going to come down to close wins.
That's what I'm saying. You could have 7 wins you could have a good season offensively and still get 7 wins.
If they don't win some close games, because they're going to have to win close games under BV. They're going to have to win some close games.
And Daniel says he's interacting. It reminds me. I love Arbuckle. I think he's great. I think Mateer is going to be really good. I love the defense.
I love Giovanni Gibson. I love the Canic move. I love it.
I'm very optimistic about this year. I am. So everyone that always says doom and gloom, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm very optimistic. But I cannot sit here on March 18th, even though I'm optimistic, and predict they're going to win 9 games. I can't. I'm very optimistic, and I hope they do. And I hope Fit with Fry is dead on. They win 9 or 10 games. I would love that like no other. But I can't predict it with the schedule they have to say they're going to go 10-2. And maybe they do, but I can't predict it, okay? They could have really good all around and still, like I said, you lose a couple of close games on the road. You're sitting at 7 wins, 8 wins. I don't know. I hope it's 9-3, guys, so bad. I think that would help this BV and then take that trajectory up with Arbuckle. I think it'd be great stuff. And I hope it is. I really do.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I think even if Jaden Gibson isn't able to play, that Burks, Giovanni Gibson, some of the younger guys, I'm still pretty high on the receivers, and I think the scheme will help immensely.
Maybe
the actual scheme, knowing what they're doing, is going to be huge.
Dalpo's kind of hit on the head. I'm optimistic, but I need to see it. Talk to me after Michigan, please. That's
and I think what 6-foot Chevy is saying is a guy like, okay, Sawchuk. People have been upset about Sawchuk. Now it depends on which Sawchuk you get.
Now Sawchuk's run scheme, or Arbuckle's run scheme, fits Sawchuk way better.
I agree, Jay, it does. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who love Sawchuk going into last year. But then he didn't look himself, and part of that was scheme, part of it was probably other things, himself as well. But also you got to love what X-Rob brings. So I think the scheme is going to help a ton. I don't know how much more I can say. I mean, it's going to. Identity helps.
Hey, you ready for trivia?
They no longer have an identity crisis.
Yeah, no, they don't. You ready for trivia?
Sure.
Here we go, trivia. It's going to be a little more difficult, and you're going to have to maybe look this one up. But 2018 OU football, had a really good player. Wore number 17, Moses Madu. I thought he was kind of underrated. But they also had another number 17 on that team. Who was it? Moses Madu wore number 17. They also had another number 17.
It was a defensive number 17. Jay.
It was not a defensive number 17.
So this number 17 never played because he couldn't.
No, there's another position it could be, Jerm.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah. He's not an offensive player, though.
Not an offensive player, not a defensive player. I mean, he's a special teams player. Wore number 17.
Petaway did wear 17, but not then.
2008. Not Crawford. Hey, and that Sixville, I love it. 10-2. I said it. I stand on. Not scared to go out. Go for it. I like it, man. I like your attitude. I like it.
I just based on the lack of winning close games, but Mateer may be the guy to get him to do it.
Yeah, it's an obscure trivia.
Jay said 2008. I thought
2008. That's what I said. 2008. There it is. 918 got it. Jimmy Stevens.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. Jimmy Stevens. That's about as normal as you can get on trivia as 918 getting an answer right. I mean, that's just like clockwork. So Okie says 8-4. They thought I said 2018. Oh, I said 2008 team.
Man, Jay, you need to enunciate better, dude.
Well, if I had a mustache like that, maybe I could, Jerm.
Oh, yeah. Get one tomorrow night, Jay. Do it for me, man.
You know, I thought about why people are staring at you. I know why.
What's that?
Because you got food in your mustache, probably. That's probably why they stare at you.
I'm getting ready to drive home, Jay.
Nice. Well, be safe. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Hit the like button before you get off here. It does help our channel, believe it or not. Like or dislike, whatever you want to do, it helps. Also, check out the Fan Stop, thefanstop.com. Check it out. Great merchandise. Hey, you know what? We are 2 days away from March Madness in Oklahoma basketball. Let's get it, Sooners. Get the W on Thursday. Y'all have a great day today. Stay safe out there in the winds, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.